Hi, friends and fellow intuitive academics. My name is Shelly, and I am an educator healer. And on this channel, I draw from my intuitive abilities and my lived experience as a PhD to offer you guidance on your life path and academic journey. And today, I wasn't really sure what reading I would be doing, and I wanted to do one today because it's April 20th, 2024, and there's been a lot of talk about Jupiter conjunct Uranus, which I knew nothing about until recently. And now that I'm learning more about it and how it's kind of like helping us to have a sudden shift in our own individual ways for the next 14 years, I wanted to adapt this to an academic or a life path message, whatever comes through to your situation, whether you're on an academic journey or not. And while I was thinking of it, also made me think of how, like, in our career paths, we're always asked to come up with a 5-year plan. And I don't know if any of your 5-year plans have ever actually happened, but I can't think of a single 5-year plan that actually, like, materialized in reality the way the plan looked like it should be, and but for the better usually, because I think our brains can't factor in everything that is coming in the next 5 years. So I wanted to make this a reading on your 5-year plan according to the universe, not according to you. Maybe we'll see some elements about how your 5-year plan comes up and then how the universe sees your 5-year plan. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it. And weird stuff has been happening today. Things have been like moving. So I didn't know which cards to display for you to pick today. But then one of my other cat who never comes in here, Cookie, is in here right now. And she was like laying with the cards. And I don't know if she did this or something else did this, but she was far away from this deck. And suddenly this card flipped off the top of the deck. I don't know. I just heard it, and then she wasn't nearby it, so she could have like pushed it to the edge, and then it flipped. But it was the Ace of Wands, and it came out reversed, and I was like, okay, that makes sense for a 5-year plan, right? Starting something, visioning something new that you're passionate about, that you want to manifest into the world. Let's go with the Ace of Wands. So I pulled out 2 more decks and looked for the Ace of Wands in each and kept them in the way they came out. So these will be the cards that you pick from today, different Ace of Wands with the decks we're going to be using in the 3 readings. And I also want to show you the crystals that you can choose from. So with this deck, the 5th Spirit tarot deck, we have blue chalcedony or chalcedony stone. And I had the idea that I also want to pull the next card beneath to give you an additional idea on what you can choose from. So the Hermit in reverse here with the Ace of Wands in reverse. We'll keep those 2 cards in your reading. In deck 2, we have Botswana agate. It's kind of hard to see, I think. But it's like a dark color with a lot of different layers, different colors striping around. And your second card is the 8 of Swords. And then in deck 3, we have, with the Cozy Witch Tarot, we have an amethyst, almost in a teardrop egg shape. And then your second card is 15 Toxic Witches, which is the Devil card. The equivalent of the Devil card. Okay, so I will leave these here for you to reflect on, pause the video if needed, and I will leave chapter markers, timestamps, that you can jump ahead to the reading that you feel most drawn to or readings. So I'll see you there. Hi, reading one. So you were drawn to the Fifth Spirit Tarot deck as well as this Ace of Wands in reverse, the lighter falling out of the figure's hand, and the Hermit card in reverse. Similarly, have light in hand. A common theme coming through between the two. This also has the Scorpio. Oh no, is that Scorpio? Sorry, Virgo symbol in it. Yeah, and your stone, as I remember from the shop description where I bought the stone, is the blue chalcedony, is all about community and attracting vibes to like work in harmony better with your immediate community, whatever that is, whether physical or online. So the message I'm already starting to get with your 5-year plan is that you have a change of plans coming through, whether you have started this shift already or you're just thinking about it or it's not on your radar at all. That's coming through, and part of the plan means that you're not going to be working alone so much anymore. You're going to kind of come out of your hermit period of self-reflection, self-identifying, getting pretty solid in who you are and what you can contribute and how you want to contribute in the world, to finally connect with your like-minded people, your teammates, and put that work into process. Okay, so with that said, the second part of the plan is that I'm going to do, your 5-year plan according to the universe with the life path / academic path reading first, and then I'm going to bring in a couple more decks to get your earth lessons learned in that period and soul lessons learned in that period. So let's just start with the question on life path, academic path. What is the reading one's group's 5-year plan according to the universe? Oh. Okay. Get your candle back. So you have the 4 of Swords, 6 of Swords reversed, 7 of Wands, and 2 of Swords reversed. This is very exciting. So your change of plans is that you were planning to leave a situation that I get the feeling that you felt powerless in. However, you would retreated and did some like introspection and restored yourself, and I have a feeling this is the hermit mode that you were in. And from that period, you decided that you're going to stay and fight. You're going to stay and draw the boundaries around how people treat you, but also how people interact in a community space, a social space that you're a part of. You felt very frozen and unclear how to move forward with a solution here, but that's over. You know what the solution is now, and more importantly, you trust yourself to find the solution. So that is exciting. I really get the sense that you're coming out of this Four of Swords Hermit energy now, and this is kind of what's occurring in the immediate time ahead of you. This is like the essential shift that's happening at the beginning of your next 5 years. I want to keep pulling because I think there's a message here, probably with the Hermit, what you learned and like how you're using that going forward now. Lovers reverse, Four of Wands reverse, Ace of Cups, Nine of Swords. So you got out of your comfort zone and you're able to stand on your own. For some people, there was like a codependency thing that left you feeling like that you didn't have power to stand on your own. That has resolved for you when you got out of your comfort zone and you basically discovered that you have yourself. You can depend on yourself and you will always be there. If you see, this is Gemini energy. The Gemini is about like duality within a single, what we perceive to be like a single person. So I really get the sense that you connected with your higher self, because this figure is in a galactic kind of imagery and this figure's in the physical. There's something really special with the Ace of Cups. I felt it when I pulled it. It was like you were able to like to tap and like unblock something really special. Like it's like, have you ever seen the maple syrup, how people like have these little tools to tap into the tree trunk and the syrup comes out? It's like that. It's like you were able to tap into something that was hidden and there's just like this wonderful miracle behind that, and now it's flowing into you. And this is your self-love. Basically, you've tapped into your self-love in a very significant way, so that it's creating this like this energetic pool with all other types of love toward you, around you, flowing through you and back. So it's like this, it's like you created a momentum with your self-love that is a gravity that's attracting love from others, working in harmony. Yeah, that comes back to that community. You realize that, yeah, what was blinding you to moving forward were your fears and anxieties holding you back. But as those dissipated with the presence of the love filling in, your way forward became clearer. So what does that mean for your next 5 years? Okay, for some people, I kind of said this in the past tense, but for some people this hasn't happened yet. It's happening, it's in the process now. So some people might be in the hermit mode, and this is to come, that you connect with your higher self, which kind of resolves some type of like feeling helpless or powerless and codepending on others. You will learn to rely on yourself and draw in love by increasing your self-love. So essentially, like, your support comes not from like desperation and trying to connect and depend on others. Your support comes naturally as an exchange of love, energetic love, connection. This one needs clarity and this one needs clarity. So I'm going to keep pulling for the two. What is that way forward in the next 5 years? And What is that with the anxiety? The Nine of Swords have to do with it. Eight of Swords reverse, High Priestess reverse, and the Sun reverse. Your way forward in the next 5 years is continuing to cut your cut the narrative of yourself that you've developed and construct a new narrative. Your current narrative is that you're not the High Priestess. You don't have like a special connection to Source. And I'm reading the Sun as Source. Yeah, this is like the Ace of Cups, an everlasting source of energy, of light that you have the potential to tap in with the High Priestess energy, the High Priestess skills. And essentially you're working with the emotional energetic connections and the light energetic connections within the next 5 years. It's really powerful. So what you're working on is upwriting these three. This is what you've learned the way ahead you're working towards by resolving, processing your anxieties and fears so that it clears the way for this energy to flow in so that you can start working towards changing the narrative of yourself. Stepping into your higher self in partnership with your physical self, which comes together in the High Priestess. So like this Lover's energy is within the High Priestess in your reading, the two becoming one, and so you'll be visible to the world as the High Priestess, and you're working with light energy at that time. When this happens, you're connecting directly to Source, however you see that, and light. I'm going to call you a light worker. Yeah. You're a light worker. You're coming into your power in the next 5 years, and that's the universe's plan for you. So exciting. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you look at the Ace of Wands. It's like you're starting this light. You're starting to reach for the light, connecting to doing this sort of light worker stuff. So I feel like you might be in like the beginning exploratory phases of like learning what light worker means, and that it really connects to the plans that you had on the physical as well. So for example, like say you've always been attracted to working with NGOs, you know, because you have this sense of a higher purpose. This is what I'm talking about here, but it becomes clearer to you. That purpose becomes clearer to you on a different plane. With the High Priestess, you're tapping into that. Like I said, you're tapping into your higher self and working in partnership with your higher self. And so this is for your career as much as for your studies. I get the sense that your studies are like a pathway toward a career outside of more studies outside of academia, because you have a sense of, I really feel from your cards, you have a sense of direction of going somewhere and doing something with purpose, and that's going to look different depending on your different life situations, life trajectories, but the energy is shared in this pile, that you have this motivation, this passion, and you have this natural skill with the High Priestess to work in partnership with your higher self and draw in Source into whatever you're doing. Yeah, definitely light worker vibes coming in here. So that's so exciting. So I'm going to pull, let's see if one card does it or if we need more, for lessons on what are your earth lessons. And I guess I mean by that Not entirely sure what I mean. It just came to mind. I guess I mean lessons that you learn here on the physical, lessons you can appreciate only on the physical plane. Oh my goodness, definitely. So this landed, of course, right on top of where I was talking about codependence. You're learning independence. You're learning to get out of your comfort zone, stand on yourself, stand on your own, love yourself. And the cat has very like high priestess psychic connection powers. There's definitely a connection there. Um, yes, you're all about this cat and like kind of like witchy vibes, but like good witch light worker vibes. So you might be like looking more into like alchemy type stuff, and it like alchemy can like show up in many like non-witchy ways. Like it could be cooking. Cooking is alchemy. Maybe like you develop some kind of like cooking NGO social that has a social cause, something like that. Like yeah, some kind of social cause that's entwined with whatever you do, wherever you end up. And it doesn't have to be your whole life, but you always have a mind towards it. You always have your eye on that light work, and you're always interweaving it into your narrative of what you do. So this is all happening. This is all really like building up in the next 5 years, according to the universe. And I guess according to whether you accept that path, it really feels like you're already stepping on that though. And home. So your other earthbound lesson is to, and like I'm amazed that it's actually like landing on top of the Four of Wands in reverse, which is all about home and security and comfort zone. So it's almost like, yeah, you stepped out of your comfort zone to become independent, and then you're rebuilding home, your sense of home and safety, with new definitions, new narratives as well, for yourself as well as for home. So cool. Okay, I'm gonna get one more. So what is your soul lesson in the next 5 years, according to the universe? Your major soul lesson to be learned. Oh, the courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. This really connects well with the hermit in reverse. It's like you're coming out of your hermit mode. You're coming out of your cave, and you're letting yourself be seen as the high priestess surrounded by this light, like a light bringer in what you're doing. And this really happens in the next 5 years because you yourself recognize the value now and during that period of what you bring. It almost looks like this figure is like bringing light and like pink floral energy into the world in some way of like of their own like volition. Yeah. So this is you like coming onto the world stage as yourself that is the duality between your physical self and your higher self. There is a like merging, a very comfortable merging that happens there. Makes me think of the home. Like you find home within yourself, between your physical and your higher self. It's like there's an alignment between, it becomes clear to you what you're doing on the physical and what it means for you on the higher spiritual plane. Yeah. So I don't know if that was in your plan already, but it looks like the world, the universe is putting you into the right path for loving yourself, connecting with your higher self, stabilizing your sense of self and home, and doing this great work in the world, wherever you choose to bring that. Just remember, you're this courageous peony. You're the high priestess. I mean, I would say just start calling yourself the high priestess of whatever you're doing, the high priestess of baking, of alchemical baking. And yeah, I would love to hear in the comments if you're willing to share what you're up to, what your plans are for the next 5 years, how you see this kind of lining up with the plans you had. So yeah, thank you for sharing your energy today. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes, comments, questions. I'm wishing you so much love on your journey and hoping you continue to work with love as well. If you were drawn to another card in the pick a card section, then I'll see you in that reading as well. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Hi, reading two. So you were drawn to this deck, the Mystic Mondays Tarot, and the Ace of Wands in reverse here with the Amethyst Stone and also the Eight of Swords. And so as with the previous deck, which I read with the Ace of Wands reverse, I'm interpreting the Ace of Wands reverse to mean that you yourself have a hand in shifting your path in some way recently. I really feel it strongly from you with your deck representation of the Ace of Wands that you're shifting it's like you're accepting a new challenge. And I almost get the sense that the challenge is to free yourself in some way. So you might be freeing yourself from a life situation that you feel stuck in. You might be freeing yourself from limitations that you imposed on yourself, beliefs that you could not do something, you could not achieve something. You finally are accepting in this 5-year plan that that you can try. You can at least try to free yourself, and if you try, you will. Just want to assure you that. Yeah. The other thing is that you could be freeing yourself from a location, physical location, or physical like an occupation by choosing a different path. Do you see how the Ace of Wands looks like the figure is choosing, accepting the challenge, choosing something different, and freeing the figure of the Eight of Swords as well. So I'm going to do like a general life path and reading, and if academic stuff comes in there, then we'll read that too. And then I'm going to also follow that up with the earth lessons learned in your next 5 years and the soul lessons learned in your next 5 years. So this is your 5-year plan according to the universe. Let's see how it intersects or not with the 5-year plan you have in mind, if you have one at all. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Like, are you required to have a 5-year plan? It was like very much a thing when I was going through college. Yeah, okay, so we have the strength. Great. You have the strength to take this on. You're feeling strong. You're feeling the strength to take this on. Death in reverse. 4 Pentacles in reverse. 5 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Okay, strength sets the tone. The Ace of Wands reverse. You're accepting a challenge to take on something that requires a lot of strength. I get the sense these are the things that you have identified or you are identifying in the next 5 years that need to shift by your own hand. You need to initiate the change here in these areas. So yeah, for some people this one is depression, like just straight up depression. Defeatedness, more like casually, if you're not going with like clinical kind of depression interpretation. It is just like a sense of defeat or hopelessness. This is one of the things that you have found the courage and strength to address by asking for help. 4 of Pentacles reverse. You start to get control of your finances, and I have a sense that you start to find the root of your like behavioral patterns around finances. yeah, how do I explain this? It's like not finances in like the sense that we commonly talk about it. It's more the sense of like the emotions attached to your finances and your sense of security. You kind of get to the root of like your underlying core beliefs around money that you developed over childhood and how that's affecting how you manage your finances today. And like you identify that you want to make a change there. You also ask for help here from like professional advisors, or you take a course or something. With the death in reverse, you recognize that you are the one to instigate the change and the transformation in your life. Yeah, your reading's all about self-empowerment. That's really coming in strong. I believe this is already one of your major, let's say, life lessons. Yeah. And 2024 is actually considered a strength year because in the numerology it adds up to 8. And so this is very much aligned to 2024 collective path in general, that you're coming into your strength. And I will say it more as self-empowerment is like the theme of your reading. This is a major part of your 5-year plan according to the universe. Yep. Okay, so with the 8 of Swords in reverse, I can't believe how many times this has been happening, that the 8 of Swords comes with the 7 of Swords. One is reversed and one is not. Yeah, it's an echo of the message here. I think maybe I need to pull more cards to see if it adds up to something different. Ooh. Everyone's getting the High Priestess. The High Priestess also came with this at some point, and the Queen of Wands. So I'm going to read it the same way. You're empowering yourself to not only like fell over the swords that are caging you in, but to recognize that you have that power in the first place. And I think you're going to surprise yourself and find that you have way more power than you expected as you transform, as you elect to transform out of the cage of the 8 of Swords. You realize that you had way more strength than you ever needed to get out of that cage in the first place. It's not going to be a struggle at all, actually. I'm going to say whatever situation you want to get out of, you're going to do it easily, beautifully. Of course, there's always pain, growing pains in transformations, but it's not going to be as hard as you think it is, because you're like overmatched in power for what's holding you back. 2 of Cups. This is going to free you to connect. I will say, like, there's strong vibes of romantic connection here when you come into your power, and it's like you find your counterpart equal in power. And it's like, this is like the feeling of your muscles relaxing, like you're so tense and you're like getting through everything, all this transformation. And the 9 of Wands reversed at the end, after you come into your power, you meet your person. It doesn't have to be romantic though. It can be like you meet your like-minded connections. It could be like best friend, you know, that you find that you have, when you free yourself and align to your true interests or the location you're moving to, you meet your like-minded best friend, and it's like everything can relax. It's like, now I'm where I need to be. This is the universe's plan for your next 5 years. And I get the sense that you're going to love it, but I also get the sense that it's not really part of your 5-year plan. So yeah, that's why you have this energy of like, you're the one making the choice. You're the one choosing yourself. And stepping into self-empowerment. It's all initiated with you, and it's like the universe has got your back once you initiate it. It's like they're the wind at your sails. You just have to put the sail up and catch the wind. It's like they're ready to go. The universe is ready to go, get you into the high priestess chair, get you connected, and get you where you need to be to do your work. I wonder, what is your work then that you're doing? I feel like you're advising people who don't really know what to do in their situation and who are going through hardships. You're helping them to get out of their hardships financially, or like career-wise, or academically, as much as emotionally. And this is your path alignment, and you're also helping people align to their paths in this way. So that can come about in many different ways. Like you could be a social worker, a counselor, anything to do where you're like helping other people get through a hard time so that they can go on to align their path and live their best lives. Yeah, so what's happening in the next 5 years is like this self-empowerment is shifting. And I think that this is happening so that you can like convey your story to the people you're helping, and create that trust bond, that empathetic horizontal relationship that you've been through this kind of thing before, and that's why you can help them get through it too. There's a lot of success in this for you, and I do feel for some people you're like going out on your own and becoming like an independent consultant with this entrepreneur. You have a different idea of how you want to do this. For other people, if you're going through like the corporate ladder, traditional routes, like there's promotion after promotion, like this is your calling, so there's nothing in your way with this. Nice. Okay, so let's see what your earth lessons are here. I'm just getting this one. Yeah, you got the death card again. So your major lesson in the earth space is to recognize when to transform, allow the transform to happen. Like I said with that metaphor, it's like where I said you just need to put up your sails and catch the wind of the transformation. It's also kind of like, say you're like a butterfly that needs to like fly on the wind, but you're like desperately holding on to a tree branch and you're like resisting the wind. It's also like that, like knowing when to just let go of something when it's time for it to end. I get the sense your earth lesson is to really embrace the cycles of things. And part of the reward of that lesson for you in this period of your life is that you're going to be immediately rewarded, because it's going to help you see that endings aren't always a bad thing. They're also a way to up-level your life or to come into the thing that you've been dreaming for. And then what is your soul lesson? Okay, this one. The cosmic heart, devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. From what I remember, I'll get out the guidebook because I'm not remembering too much, but from what I remember is that this is also about, it's like presencing and appreciating, giving gratitude to every moment, to the day by day, like holding space for it, seeing it for what it is, and like taking that in without judgment, just holding space for it. I feel like it matches the death energy very well. So the death is all about like cycles ending and rotating. This is all about like the everyday and like appreciating like the micro movements within the cycle. That's happening for you in your soul lesson level. But let me get the description. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. Yeah, flowing, like let yourself flow with the wind. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect to the truth at the very center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, deep, deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Yes, there's your cycles of seasons, like in the death card. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seeds and sing to them with deep devotion. That's so beautiful. That's highlighted for you. I'm going to read it again. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what is it that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. And your question for yourself to reflect on is, how can you make your life a moving prayer? Whatever that means to you. And so there's a lot of like repeating of this moving motion. There's a lot of motion being encouraged in your reading for your next 5 years plan according to the universe. Setting something in motion, starting with you yourself, initiating that. So that is your message, and I'm wishing you so much love on that journey, hoping you continue to work with love as you go through this as well. And it looks like you will be bringing love and transition to others as well as you complete your own your next phase of transition. There's beautiful things to come. Remember, the High Priestess and the Two of Cups are at the I see it like a platform. It's like you climb, and then you reach a platform. You hang out there for a while before you start climbing up the next mountain. But this is for you at the next platform and at the end of the next 5 years. So always remember that there's beautiful things on the horizon. And thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes, comments, questions. If you are drawn to another card in the pick a card section, I'll see you in those readings. And if not, I'll see you in the next. Hi, reading 3. So you were drawn to the Cozy Witch Tarot deck, and the Ace of Wands and the Toxic Witches or Devil cards from this deck as well. And you get a little something extra. You have little phrases at the end of these cards. So the Ace of Wands says, "Don't you see how your passion makes you glow?" And your Devil card, Toxic Witches, says, "Be cautious of those who take more than they give." So I already see within your 5-year plan, according to the universe, that you're learning to trust your inner guidance, your intuition. You're learning to trust your inner guidance, your intuition a lot more, and you're releasing the hold that others' expectations or judgments have on you, society's standards, or even people in your immediate community. And you have the amethyst crystal as well, and that's all about connecting to your third eye, your psychic powers, your connection to your guides, to the universe itself. So that's very much a theme coming through in your 5-year plan according to the universe. I feel like they've identified something that you're ready to step into next. And I wonder if you also feel that as well, especially with your intuitive abilities. Do you see here, it's like this is you kind of like looking off to the side and like, wait, what am I doing here? This doesn't feel good. You know, like there's something else. I mean, you're starting to trust your inner guidance there. Yeah, so let's see what's in your life plan, and maybe information on your academic journey will come up as well for the next 5 years according to the universe. And I'm also going to pull some other oracle cards towards the end to get information on what is your like earth lesson to learn and what is your soul lesson to learn during this 5-year time period. 3 of Swords, 6 of Cups, the Tower, ooh, intense. Can I fit one more? And the Star. And the Star says, have faith that healing is in the forecast. So yes, this is a very much a theme, a recurring theme in your life from as far back as you can remember, that you've trusted people and they broke your heart. Friends, peers is coming through. Friend group is coming through very strongly here. People in your own like peer generation. But it could be any kind of relationships. It could be romantic. It could also be family. You are always left brokenhearted. Yeah. And you do have a Tower here. So that's indicating a major shift happening. So some kind of outside situation is going to help you shift your perspective and reconsider the way you're living your life. It could be that, you know, it's just the straw that breaks the camel's back with this recurring situation of being let down by others in your life, and you decide to do something about it. It could be something else entirely that just kind of forces you to go there. Yeah, I feel compelled to share with you that I had a long-term friendship that from childhood that I realized as I went far into my adulthood that was actually very like damaging for me. It was like a very bad dynamic, and as much as I wanted to hang on to it, it was not the right choice for me. I needed to let go so that I could so that this other person wasn't squelching out my power and I could become my full self. That's really what's happening with you, whether it happens that way or not. But what is happening with you is that you're becoming your full self because you have like room to breathe. You're able to make your boundaries and set guidelines with how people belong in your life. And healing is a big part of this. You're wishing for healthy relationships, and you're feeling a little lost about that. And I see that you wished on a star for this to come to fruition in your life, and the universe is like, here's your Tower moment, here's your lightning bolt out of the sky. Like, you're getting your wish essentially. So it might be kind of intense, and you're going emotionally intense because you're healing through something to get your wish, but you're getting your wish in your 5-year plan. The Empress, Strength in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, and the High Priestess. Yep, the High Priestess came up in every single deck today. The Strength card came up in deck 2. It was key there. I don't remember if it came up in deck 1. The Lovers also came up in deck 1 for sure. So, I mean, you've got the benefit of hindsight here on my end in reading 3. So if you were drawn to any of those others, particularly with the High Priestess or the Lovers card, you might go check them out. Right, so this is your way forward in restoring faith in your relationships and healing yourself and the wounds from your past relationships. You embody this Empress energy, and essentially what you've been through has gotten you to this point of becoming this Empress energy. I see you like in the next 5 years, you start to trust others by working with younger people. So you might be working with children, or you might be like a teacher or volunteering or like, you know, a coach of some sort. This is very healing for you. This restores your faith in people, and it gives you kind of like the building blocks to like reset of how you relate to people. So I mean, and not just children, but like younger people. So it could be like if you're a graduate student, you start to like work with undergraduate students, like advising them or teaching them, something like that, or just like leading a club. And it's almost like they show you your own value in that way. You start to quietly develop the strength from within, your inner fortitude. This is also, you develop your strength to be okay with yourself, like be best friends with yourself first before you make best friends with anyone else. Yeah, and I'm reading this Lovers reverse in a similar way to pile 1, which is you're breaking some kind of codependency or like a need for others to love you first before you love yourself. It's like you're reversing that. Now you love yourself first, and then others can love you. And you've got the High Priestess hovering over this. And I love that it came at the end. And because do you remember here, Ace of Wands, it says, don't you see how your passion makes you glow? And I was reading this as you're starting to slowly, with a small spark, trust your inner guidance. And here with the High Priestess, it says, when in doubt, your first gut feeling can always be trusted. The High Priestess is all about being led by your own instructions, by the guidance that you receive spiritually in communication with your guides or your higher self. I did interpret the Lovers card as the higher self in pile 1, connecting with the physical self and merging and becoming one. There's an element of that here. It's different. It's more like paired with the toxic witches, is that your intuition is helping you help guide you toward who you do trust and give your energy and attention to make those bonds. The universe in these next 5 years is teaching you how to be selective with who you bond with emotionally. Yeah, so everything is working out, and it's almost like you're enrolled in like emotional connection school for the next 5 years. And you start small, you start with yourself, you gain that trust with yourself. That's a strength card in reverse. You gain that trust in yourself, and then you gain the trust with others first through people who are younger than you. And it's like you become of service to them, and then they help you see your value. And then it goes on to like everywhere else in your life, people older than you, your peers, your romantic relationships. And you do end up in the High Priestess. Kind of blown away that the High Priestess showed up in a very significant way in each reading, your high priestess is lining up with the star, which is like especially powerful. I think maybe you wished to be able to connect more, to like up level the way you connect to your guidance, and that, oh right, that's what your wish was, and or to connect with others. But also the universe is saying part of that wish is connecting to us, connecting to the universe, connecting to your higher self as well. That's an essential part of the recipe. Yeah, that's beautiful. I think I have time and space to do like let's do one more follow-up question. What will this look like, in the day-to-day of the next 5 years? Like anything, any milestones to do with like career, school, like events, life events that are happening that kind of connects to this plan. Knight of Wands in reverse. Judgment, path alignment with the Knight of Wands in reverse. I feel like this is the person you're kind of correcting, however you decide to do that, whether you're setting boundaries or you're cutting them out of your life. This could be someone who's like in the young adult years, fire signs, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, or just someone who's very like kind of fiery and impulsive energy. This is where the judgment is happening. I think this is where the tower moment is happening as well. So something's happening with this person in your life that's kind of part of the toxic witches group. Yeah, you're carrying a lot more in this relationship than they are. It's unbalanced. It's an unfair relationship. And this is you. It's limiting you. It's keeping you in like a lower status position, because like, so you're the Page of Pentacles and then they're the Knight of Wands. So it's like they're bossing you around or they're limiting you. It's like they have more power and control, but like they're misusing that authority. They could literally be older than you. But I think they're like unrightly putting you into like a childish position, a lower position than you actually are. Like you should be equal. You should be knight, something like that. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, if it was like a healthy relationship. So this could be friends. I really feel strongly like a friend bond or a sibling bond, but it could be like romantic, work. It could be other things. So do you see the Page of Pentacles here? It says, when life gives you lemons, make enchanted lemonade. And so it's like you're blocked from that in this relationship, and all you're left with is just the lemons. It's like you can't make the lemonade until you deal with this imbalance. You're carrying too much. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what is the earth lesson or lessons that you need to learn, or that you're going to learn. Strength again. Yep. And as I said in the second reading, strength is 2024 defining year. 2024 is defined by strength because it adds up numerically to 8. And so everyone is going on a strength lesson journey in some way, wherever you need to develop your strength. You got the strength card twice. This is very much emphasized. But again, your strength is kind of like the inner strength that you're developing. Trust in yourself. That's the strength that you're developing. Trust in your intuition. So that is your earth goal. Your earth lesson is, how do you relate to people on the physical with strength, with the trust in yourself. For your soul lesson, this one did kind of come out. I want to grab it. It's the 7-Star Sisters, Birthing Creation's Tapestry of Life Expression. I've never drawn this. I want to read it, but I do feel that it's echoing the Toxic Witches. So this could be about sisterhood and bonding to other, to women or to siblings. That is being worked on now, that is being corrected, that is your wish to heal the way you bond to feminine energies, people and feminine energies in groups, and like your place there, like claiming your place so that you're not taken advantage of. So this card says, the 7-Star Sisters, Birthing Creation's Tapestry of Life Expression. There are new creations that want to be born, beauty that's yearning to be woven, new consciousness that's longing to be breathed into life. If you draw this card, you're being called to surrender to these creations, to usher in a new era of consciousness and do your bit in weaving the web of life. This is the card of the artist and the midwife. You're being called to ponder questions. What wants to be birthed through you? What new creations are whispering in your ear? What beauty are you being called to make? Creativity and intuition come from the same sacred place. They occur when we find ourselves flowing with the rest of life. Earth is renowned as a planet of manifestation and creativity, and yet so many of us have forgotten how to create. Oh, you got a little bit of earth lessons here too, to create something. Somewhere along the way, we stop seeing ourselves as artists, as creatives, as poets. Yet to be human is to be creative. Creativity is part of your true nature. Perhaps you're being called to surrender to a creative project, such as a new business or a book. Or perhaps you're being called to weave beauty in your home or in the way you cook. Regardless of the end result, you're being called to express yourself through your creativity, to surrender to the creative projects that both scare and excite you, to find a way to weave beauty back into everyday life. For where there's creativity, spirit and soul are present, and the world needs those qualities more now than ever before. And your reflection question is, what new creations are you being called to birth? So this is like some very practical advice. I feel like comes in a little bit separately, that you are an artist and you have some kind of creative expression that you're working on, and it's possibly intertwined with how you're being limited here. Remember, you're being left with the lemons and you can't make the lemonade because the way this person keeps cutting you down. Once you free yourself, you're able to create the thing that your soul is calling you to create and birth into the world. This is a big, it's like a big 5 years. It's a big life lesson, a big transition for you to go through and become the person that you need to be to manifest the thing in the world that you came to come here to manifest. It could be art, but it could also be like research. It could be anything that you produce. It could be like advice or social media, like something that you're being called to put out in the world, but you're feeling like held back and limited. You're aligning to your path now with that in the next 5 years. According to the universe, this is the universe's plan for your next 5 years. And yeah, that's your message. So I'm wishing you so much love on that journey and hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for sharing your energy, and for any likes, shares, subscribes, comments, and questions. I would love to answer any questions that you have, or hear what you are planning in your creative endeavors, or however this landed for you. If you were drawn to another card in the pick a card reading, or the pick a card section, I'll see you in those readings as well. And if not, wishing you well until I see you next time.